Detection system just detects if there's CNG fumes in the cab. And the alarm should go off if there's fumes. External light test switch is that one here. And that should, if I switch it on, it'll turn on all my lights outside. So that way I could check all my lights. Driver windows is clear, not cracked, broken, properly sealed, and functions properly. Demonstrate. In case of fire, pull locking pin, push red fire button. Alright, so if there's a fire, I'll take out this pin and then I'll push the button. Okay, so this is the door handle.
Yeah. Right now. Yeah. See, when that's closed, when someone comes in, I go like this. When I want to let people, just the back go out, I go like that. Someone gets near the green light over there, and then it just opens automatically. And either way, all the way around, he'll do both. Like, I need to let other people go.
Demonstrate your wheelchair ramps.
All the way down. There you go. Go. Oh, make sure your power ramp is on.
Oh, make sure power ramp is on.
Once it's all the way out, now bring it back. The other button. And you just raise it back up.
This is your 4-way light switch. You just flip it on and flip it off. Bus height is 11 feet, 11 inches. Dash warning lights. Those are my dash warning lights. Right now I have the park brake on. Brakes are applied. Dash warning lights. Dash warning lights would be when you have low air, when you run out of fuel. Windshield should be clean with no obstructions or damage to the glass. Wipers and washers, check that wiper arms and blades are secure, no damage, and operate smoothly. Okay, that's how you turn on. That's how you turn on your windshield wipers. And then auxiliary, I guess, is the side.
Alright.
Heater defroster, test that the heater and defroster work. Okay, so this is the heater. We're going to put it all the way. Defrost only and put it on high. The air turned on, so it's working properly. Yeah, that's your air pressure gauge.
Yeah, because the green needle is the primary tank, and the second one's the secondary tank.
It's oil pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure oil pressure gauge is working. Check that pressure gauge shows increasing at normal oil pressure. Yes, it's at normal oil pressure. Coolant temperature gauge. Water temperature. Make sure that the temperature gauge is working. Temperature should begin to climb to normal operating. So it's gradually rising. Voltmeter right here. Check that gauges show alternator and or generator is charging. It's charging. Check that gauge begins gradual rise to normal operating range. Steering wheel, check for looseness, sticking, or damage. With the engine running, check for excessive play by turning the wheel back and forth. Play should not exceed 10%, about 2 inches on a 20-inch wheel, before front left wheel barely moves. Horn, check that air horn and or electric horn works. So we'll press this one. Turn signals and high beam tests. So these are your turn signals, you said?
Yeah, I know.
Test that dash indicates work when corresponding lights are on.
See,
so
like hold the left one. See? They'll pop.
Okay, so that should turn on, and then that one should turn on.
I know that.
Okay, service brake and accelerator pedals. So these are my brake and my pedal. I'm gonna make sure that they're free of debris, they're not broken, cracked, or damaged, and they're secured to the ground. Front right of driver's seat. All mirrors inside and outside are clean. My mirrors are clean. My mirrors are clean. My mirrors are All handrails are secured and no missing bolts. My handrails are all secure, no missing bolts. Front door porch light. Front door porch lights are secured, working properly, and not damaged or broken. Right side of driver's seat, front door. Emergency door release.
Isn't that bad?
Okay, show them. Yeah, so I'm gonna check my doors. They're not damaged. Operate smoothly and closes securely. We just demonstrated that. Hinges should be secure with seals intact. So these are the hinges, I guess. All nuts and bolts are secure. The rubber seal is not ripped and it's secure. Windows are clean and clear, not cracked or broken. Handrails are secure, no missing bolts. Floor and steps are clear of debris, tripping hazards, no loosey moldings, and not worn excessively. Wheelchair ramp is flush and secure with no tripping hazards. So when this is open, we're going to check to make sure that it's secure and flush. Front door porch light, we already did that one. And the standee line is yellow.
That's the standing line, and everyone has to be behind.
Okay, behind the driver's seat. Circuit breakers and panel above driver's seat. There's your circuit breakers.
My bad.
Okay, those are your circuit breakers. We're gonna check to make sure all wiring is secure, not cut, cracked, or frayed, and they're working properly. Fire extinguisher is properly mounted and secured. It's charged, up to date. Interior lamps. Okay, right here.
Yeah, there you go. Now there's light.
So this is where your interior lamps are. And you just push it forward for all. Your 3 red reflective triangles is going to be in this box here. And it's properly secure. And I'm going to check to make sure that all 3 triangles are not broken and intact.
Do you have to actually open it or just say it?
I just usually say it. And then you could say, would you like me to demonstrate? And then they'll say yes or no and you can do it. Okay, passenger compartment. Check all seats. I'm going to check the seats to ensure that there are no broken seat frames and that the seats are firmly attached to the floor. They're firmly attached to the floor. Checking all seat cushions to ensure that they are securely attached to the seat frames. So yeah, this is attached to the seat frames. Checking all seat belts the same way as the belt up front. And then red handles on the windows are emergency exits. And then you would demonstrate how you would open the window.
Yeah.
Okay, back door is inspected the same way as the door in the front. So, well, I'll check that the. Wait.
See here? Just.
Okay, so I demonstrated how it opens.
Touch the yellow line.
And closes. I'll just check to make sure that my windows are clean, not broken. Check the rubber guard to make sure it's intact and seals properly. I'll check the hinges to make sure that all nuts and bolts are present and that they're not loose. And I'll just check to make sure that it opens and closes properly. Steps and floor are inspected the same way as the floor and steps in the front, free of debris. Signs and lights are working properly. The signs are legible and make sure there's no holes or it's broken. Roof hatch emergency exit. Explain the 2 ways it can be used. So,
I think that's the top one over there. Yeah, I remember what he did. He just pushed it up. And
okay, so we'll just demonstrate how that's opened and closed.
yeah.
Walk to the front of the bus and examine interior to make sure nothing was missed before proceeding to the outside. Turn the master switch to off and back to night run. Exit the bus, holding onto the handrails. Walk to the front of the bus to begin outside pretrip.
Well, before that, right here is where you would do the lights, right? Since we skipped that.
Okay, yeah.
So just pretend.
I'll just pretend.
You can do it. I mean.
Can you please assist me on turning on all my lights?
Just do it.
Clearance marker lights. Ask them if my clearance lights are on. I'm going to check my left turn signal. All flashes, say left. We walk to the back, and then I'll do the right, he'll check the back, and then he'll walk to the front, and then I'll turn on my four ways, and then he'll see, and then I'll turn it back off. My low beams are already on, so I'm just gonna check my high beams.
And that's the upper left. Upper, yeah. You see how it comes on? And then you have to turn this one off. This one doesn't say, so yeah.
Okay. So at the front of the bus, I will check that my clearance lights are on, red in the rear, amber and elsewhere. They're not missing, they're clean, not cracked or broken, properly attached and functional. I'm gonna check that my windshield is clean, clear, no obstructions, not cracked or broken, and properly sealed. Wiper blade, I'm gonna check to make sure it has proper tension. I'm gonna check my rubber guard to make sure it's not ripping or frayed. I'm gonna check all the nuts and bolts are all there, and I'll check to make sure there's working properly. I'm gonna check my headlights to make sure they're properly secured. The glass is not broken. The light bulbs are not broken. Properly attached and functional as checked before. Check that turn signals, red in the rear, amber elsewhere, are not missing, clean, not cracked, broken, properly attached and functional. I'm gonna check my license plate to make sure it's properly secure and legible. I'm gonna check my bumper that is properly secured and no missing pieces. Curb side of bus. On this side, I will check that all my clearance lights, which is gonna be these ones and that one right there. And check all clearance lights, red on rear, amber elsewhere, the same as the lights on the front. Check that mirrors are clean. Mirror brackets are not damaged, and mirrors are mounted securely with no loose attachments. So I'll just check to make sure it's secure, it's not broken or missing pieces. Side windshield is checked the same way as the front. Check side wiper the same as the wipers in the front. This is going to be your turn signal. Red in the rear, amber elsewhere, the same way as the lights on the front. Warning light, amber in color is not missing. This is going to be your warning light when cuando se va para abajo. So we're going to check to make sure that it's secure, it's not broken, damaged, and works properly. And comes on when the bus is lowered when the wheelchair ramp is operated. So yeah. Porch light is properly mounted and secured. Guessing these are your porch lights.
Yeah.
They're clean, clear, not broken, and working. Check underneath wheelchair ramp for damage or missing parts and no leaks. We'll go like this. I'm gonna check to make sure nothing's under there and it's not damaged. Front tire tread depth. So by tread depth, I'm gonna check to make sure that it's 4/32 of an inch. Tire condition is checked so that tread is evenly worn, and look for cuts or other damages to tread or sidewalls. Make sure that the valve cap and stems are not missing. So this is my valve cap and my valve stem. I'm going to check to make sure that it is not missing, broken, or damaged. Check for proper inflation by using a tire gauge, and I'll check to make sure that it is at manufacturer's pressure. I'm going to check the rims, that it is not damaged or bent, cannot have welding repairs. Check for rust trails that may indicate that the rim is loose on the wheel. So if these lug nuts are loose, there should be a rust trail, and that would mean I'll have to take it to the shop to get it tightened. I'm going to check to make sure that each lug nut is present. I'm going to twist every single one to make sure they're tight. They're not loose and no rust trails. There are no cracks radiating from the lug bolt holes or distortion of the bolt holes. Hub oil seal is not leaking, so it shouldn't be leaking from here. All bolts are present. All bolts are present, and if the side glass is present, I'll check the oil level is adequate. This does not have a side glass, so I'm not going to check that. This bus is equipped with disc brakes on all axles. The rotors have no cracks, dents, or holes. bolts. Check the rotor for contaminants such as grease or oil. Check for loose or missing bolts on the rotor and caliper. And then I'm gonna check my brake pads, which is gonna be, they're gonna look like little black pads inside the caliper. I'm gonna check to make sure that the pads are not worn dangerously thin. I'm gonna check the brake hoses. This one right here is your brake hose. Okay? Esto gris aquí va a ser tu caliper.
Just say it. I'll look at the video.
All this is your rotor. For the rotor, all you have to check to make sure that there's no contaminants and that like oil and grease on your rotor aquí. Your caliper aquí. You just check to make sure that it's secure, it's not damaged. And then inside the rotor, there's gonna be little brake pads. And on the brake pads, you just have to check to make sure that they're not worn out dangerously thin. This whole thing aquí va a ser tu steering box. Okay?
Yeah.
It's securely mounted, no leaks, and no missing nuts or bolts. So and then your power steering hoses should be these here.
Yeah.
Tight, no fluid leaks, and not damaged. Your steering linkage arms, I showed you, is gonna be these things aquí. This is your linkage that goes all the way up to your steering wheel. The rods and links from the steering box to the wheel are not worn or cracked. Joints are not worn or loose. No missing or loose nuts, bolts, or cotter pins. This bus is equipped with an air ride suspension. There are no springs on the front. There are shock absorbers. That big old black thing is your shock absorber. Shock absorber. Check that the shocks that are properly mounted and secure and are not leaking. Brake chamber. Esto va a ser tu brake chamber, okay?
So that one.
They're basically the same thing. You have to just check to make sure that they're properly secured, not leaking, no false stands, or it's properly secured. La otra también, you just have to check to make sure that it's secure, it's not leaking air. This one will leak brake fluid. This one will leak air. Okay?
Yeah.
This is your brake chamber, and this is your airbag. Okay? Check that all suspension components are not missing any bolts. No damaged bolts or loose bolts, including U-bolts. You see that thing that has yellow?
Yeah.
That's basically your suspension stuff. It's way down there. So all you have to do is just check to make sure that they're all properly secure with all nuts and bolts present. They're not damaged, dented, or broken. That's it. So the CNG tank covers, we're going to check that they're properly mounted with no missing pieces. No missing loose bolts, listening for any fuel leaks, which is going to be some hissing, and unable to smell a gas leak. Porch lights on the rear of the bus. We just check to make sure that they're properly secured, working properly, and not damaged. Okay, right dual's turn light is properly mounted. Oh, right here. This is your turn light. We're going to check to make sure that it's properly mounted and secure, clean, clear, not cracked or broken. It will activate when the right turn signal is activated. Would you like me to demonstrate? These are your rear duals. We're going to check the same as the front, with the exception that the tread depth has to be 230 seconds, not 4. The bus spacing is checked for even spacing, no foreign objects, and is not damaged. So I'm going to look into here, and I'm going to check to make sure that the spacing is correct. I'm going to check there's no debris and they're not damaged. I'm going to check the rims the same way as the front. Make sure it's free of obstruction, it's not cracked or any illegal welds. I'm going to check my lug nuts to make sure that they're all present and tight. I'm going to touch every single one of them to make sure none of them are loose. And if they are loose, it'll be a rust trail, and if it is, then I'll take it to the mechanic to tighten it. My axle seal, this is my axle seal. I'm going to check to make sure that all bolts are present. I'm going to check every single one that they're not loose. If there is, it'll be a rust trail. Brake rotors and pads are checked the same as the front, so I'll check my brake rotors, and I check my brake pads the same way I did over there to make sure there's no contaminants, to make sure that the brake pad is not worn super thin. Yeah, I'll check my brake pads. I'm gonna check the air chambers, that it's not leaking, it's not damaged, dented, or broken, it's properly secure. My drive shaft, check to make sure that it is not bent, twisted, or cracked. Couplings are checked that they are secure and free of foreign objects. Coil spring. Okay, so coil springs, it's basically like a little slinky.
So you have shown me that over there?
No, that doesn't have it.
Oh.
It's the dual tires only.
Okay.
But if you want to know what it is, a coil spring is a little slinky, kind of like stretched out, and it's like behind there, so that way when it bounces, it'll catch the bouncy. I'm gonna check to make sure that it's not broken or distorted, meaning like it's all straight or like it's out of circles. I'm gonna check the airbags the same way as I did in the front. I'm gonna check the shock absorber también the same way as I did in the front. Okay. I'll check the spring mounts también the way I did over there. All bolts on the rear components are checked the same way as in the front. I'm gonna check the splash guards to make sure that it's not damaged and properly mounted and secure. I'm gonna check the frame. Put the light in there. Is basically, you see where those bolts are?
Yeah.
Okay, everything connected to that, like the wall basically,
Yeah.
that's the frame. And the frame, basically, it goes through the whole bus. Everything is sitting on that frame, okay? I'm gonna check to make sure that it's not cracked, bent, and longitudinal frame members, cross members. What? This is your reflector, okay? I'm gonna check to make sure that it is red in color because it is at the rear. It is not missing, properly mounted and secure, not damaged. I guess this is your fuel door.
Yeah.
Check to make sure that it is not damaged, operates properly, and latches securely. I would check all my external compartment doors the same way. Fuel shut-off valve, quarter turn to shut off. The caps are on tight, so you would open that and okay, so I'm guessing this is your fuel shut-off valve. Caps are on tight. Okay, rear of bus. Exhaust stack has no excessive soot, properly mounted and secure. Okay, that's your exhaust stack. That's where all the
big ass
the
one?
fumes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, your exhaust.
Okay.
Okay, so we just check to make sure there's no soot. Soot looks like really black charcoal on there.
Okay.
Your clearance lights. We'll check the red clearance lights to make sure that they're red. And they're properly mounted, not broken, secure, work properly. Yeah, these are your reflectors to make sure that they're properly secure, not damaged. We'll check our license plate, which is gonna be over there. Inside. Check the light to make sure it's secure, works properly. Check the door to make sure the hinges are not damaged. It opens and closes properly and closes securely. We'll check the rear bumper to make sure that it's properly secure, it's not falling or any missing pieces. Okay, that's your coolant reservoir. Check my sight glass to ensure that it is at proper level and the cap is tight. If needed to add, would wait until the engine is cool and add at the cap. I'm gonna check that the hoses, all my hoses, are secure, no bulges, no cracks, and no leaks. I'm gonna check that my exhaust pipes are properly secure, no missing or loose clamps, no damage, no cracks, no holes, no severe dents, no leaks, and no soot. I'm gonna check my oil dipstick. This is gonna be your oil dipstick. Okay, we're gonna point it out, check the oil level when the engine is off, check to make sure the oil level is between the add and full marks. I'm gonna check my water pump. Well, just point at that one. If he says no, just point at that one. Okay, no leaks, not loose, properly mounted and secure. I'm gonna check the alternator. Properly mounted and secure. Wire connections are secure and fastened. Yeah, this is your alternator because that's where your electrical wiring is. Okay, so I'm gonna check my belts.
Sure.
All of them.
Yeah.
Both. I'm gonna guess this one is gonna be your water pump belt. Since this is connected to back there where all that electrical stuff is, this is probably gonna be your alternator belt. Both the water pump and the alternator are belt driven. Belt has no cracks, no loose fibers, no frays, no signs of wear, and no more than 3/4 of an inch deflection. So no more than, if I try to check the tension, there should be no more than 3/4 of an inch. Power steering reservoir.
Oh, that cap? Okay,
Yeah. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be your power steering. It is gear driven, pointed out, it is operating properly, not damaged, not leaking, and mounted securely. Your air compressor, say this is gonna be your air compressor. It is gear driven, pointed out, it is operating properly, not damaged, not leaking, and mounted securely. And then check underneath the engine, there are no engine fluid leaks. If there is puddle from the AC, identify that and explain. So that's it. So you would check this on your pre-trip, your battery switch. It's just your windshield fluid reservoir. You would just check it to make sure that it was secure.
I'll ask him.